What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of the Grey Podcast. This is Gray Productions, and we are bringing to you live another episode of conversations that really matter. Today, we'll be delving into a very, very crucial topic that has been conflicting for a lot of creatives. Have you ever gone to school for 5 years, studied a particular course, and then graduated to realize that is not what you wanted? Or have you been stuck in a job for a very long period of time to realize that is not what you wanted? It's not what you want to be in the long run. How do you migrate? How do you transition? Transition periods are very tough. You are not alone. Let's discuss, let's analyze, and let us prefer solutions. Let's dive right in. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Grey Podcast. And with me, I have two lovely people. Let's introduce ourselves.
Okay, my name is Ikweso. I think that's it.
Your occupation, what you do, where you from? Yeah, what do you do?
Okay, I'm a content manager and I came from Ondo State.
My name is Ikweso Oluwajomiloju. I'm a administrator. I'm still an administrator, and I come from Ondo State, and I'm a student.
You know what's up? My name is Gray, and I am your host for this show. So there are some interesting things people want to know, and people are having a tough time trying to adapt to. For example, we have people that have gone to school, they've studied a 4-year course, 5-year course, and at the end of the whole university, they realize what they actually studied is not what they want to become. But some people don't even know what they want to become at the end of their university years, and then they pick up something, or maybe because of the economy, the Nigerian situation, people don't have the capital to start what they intend to, or lack of job opportunities, and then we just see people trying to grab onto whatever it is that is available. So these are the conversations we want to have today. So what do you think, really? What do you think about this whole issue?
Well, I think that it's not a must. You really have to know like what you want to study. Because like me, I studied accounting in the university. It was when I was done that I found out that I didn't really like accounting. Like somebody said it to my face, you don't like accounting, we are more like a business person. So I feel like you don't have to like know yourself. You don't have to honestly know what you really want to do in the university also. Just me, I feel with whatever life give me, as I do. So along the line, I met it. There are so many opportunities that have come my way too. That doesn't even relate to any business or accounting related stuff. So like I've done like HR job, I've done like administrating job. I've done so many things. So I just feel that you don't necessarily have to know yourself. Just flow with what life gives you, and don't ever miss any opportunity. That's it.
What I feel is causing going to school and studying something, and then coming out of school with not doing what you actually studied in school is maybe indecision. Because when we were small, if they ask like, what do you want to become? Be like, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer. I feel like everybody should have a life coach, like somebody that will be encouraging you, like, okay, you want to be a doctor, you should make researches. This is what doctor does. And if you feel like, okay, I can do this, I cannot do this, those range of GSS1 to GSS3, even SS1, SS2, you can still make decisions, and then make sure you don't make mistakes. Because by the time you now go to school and then you want to be a doctor, and you get there and you're like, I cannot handle physics, I cannot handle chemistry, I'm not good in the laboratory, I'm not this, all those kind of things is going to be causing mental problem. Like, I think I made the mistake, I should drop out of school, it's not for me, all those kind of things. So I feel like it's indecision that's causing it.
So for me, why people actually, feel so frustrated when they are in school, or when they're in school they realize, okay, this is not what I want to do, or I realized what used to happen is, number one, it starts from the upbringing, right? It starts from their formative years. Now, someone wants to be, who is born in a family of doctors, and the family is like, oh, you have to become a doctor. If that child is not wired to like want to become a doctor, if that child does not have that passion to become a doctor, there's going to be an immense amount of pressure on that child to want to become a doctor, at least so that I can make mom and dad happy. So I feel like in their formative years, or the environment, their upbringing environment can also impact greatly on if what they want to become. So when they get to school, probably maybe as minors, you're in primary school, you don't have a say, your parents have a say. Secondary school, you don't have a say, your parents. Even in university, your parents still, you're an adult, quite all right, but your parents are like, through primary, I put you through secondary, you did not die, so I think I have a say right now in your lives through your university years. So it's more about people not being able to confront their parents, not being able to confront the society, their upbringing, the people who are like, very, very important in their lives about what they want to become. They feel like if they change, people will be like, oh, what about all the money I've put in you all the way from the beginning of the year? You're just figuring it out now. But what they don't understand is that they've not given that child room to actually expand creatively, or to actually, like check on what they really, really want to do. And for some people, they later change their mindsets. Maybe they've always wanted to become, let's say, a dancer, for example, and they went to dance school. And when they got into dance school, first year, second year, then they got, interested in painting, and they realized painting is what I want to transition into. So it happens that in different stages of people's life, people can have, a change of heart. People can be attracted to things. But in terms of when people are being forced, pressured, they become lost because they won't find what they are very good at. They won't search within. So whatever they bring to the table is what they will accept. Do you understand? They did not have that moments to search within themselves, like, oh, this is what I'm good at, this is what I really want. Or maybe they even know, but because of like they don't want to offend their parents, they don't want to put pressure on the people around them, like they've spent money on me throughout all these years, so don't let me put pressure on anybody. And at the end of the day, they just keep going with the flow, they just keep going through things, they just keep walking through things. And when they graduate university, then they have a bit of freedom. They have a bit of like, okay, I'm old enough to make my own decisions. And they start realizing, had I known, I would have gone to study this. I want to transition into this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So I feel like that is one of the reasons why people actually find it very, very difficult to voice out that pressure of not wanting to fail others, not wanting to look like a failure in presence of others. Like, oh, for example, if I study medicine right now, my mom is a medical doctor, my dad's a medical doctor, they see that, okay, medical doctor is the line for me. If I don't want to put pressure on them, or I don't want them to feel like, my child is a failure, or I don't want to ruin their reputation, let me fall in that line as well. So I feel that's something that hurts, harms. What else want to say about that?
So I think that it's not entirely the parents' fault, because some parents are like, in this Nigeria that we are, the only thing you can do that you can actually make good income and profit is if you are a doctor, if you are a lawyer, if you are
white collar jobs.
Yes, because when they're like, oh, and kikiri, like, you want to, what do you want to do? And the child will be like, I want to be a musician. I'll be like, what musician? They cannot make money
what
from
are they
that.
doing?
What are they doing there? That's a distraction.
Nonsense
All
job.
those kind of things, like discouragement, like, what this now I want to do is not the right thing for. Maybe I should just go along with what my parents are saying. All this kind of. I just think that parents should be to be wired a different way. Like, they are too
rigid. But then, like you said, it's, I feel like back then, there's a lot of social reasons why they actually turned out that way. So to them, I'm just using that as an example. So I feel some parents think like, I've gone through this. I don't want my children to, the way you are right now, like what you've gone through, you don't want your kids to go through. So you're going to put all those practices, everything you're going to put into practice, you want to use it to act out on your children. And I'm not saying act out in a bad sense, but you want to use it as a guideline for your children as well. So just the way people are already getting not desensitized, that's the wrong word. Let's say just the way people are already getting used to saying that, okay, it's not only doctors and lawyers that you can make it through those occupations. Just the way people are seeing it now. I feel like when we are having kids now, if they say, Mom, I want to become a web developer, you'd be like, oh, web development. Because back then there was no web. It was not web development was not something huge, right? So now, Mom, I want to become an astrophysicist. You'd be like, okay, there's astrophysicists back then, but it's not as, because of technology, there's a lot of things that are now getting into play, as astrophysics, tech, gaming, even gamers, streamers, content creators. So a lot of things are, a lot now. So if your kids want that, you be open to those ideas, because you know that, okay, they are respectable jobs as well. People can get money through it. So I feel like they're not totally to be blamed, but the mode, so it's just like a cycle. So the mode in which we were raised is going to be somewhat similar to the mode in which we raise our kids. Somewhat similar. And also based on decision we make now. Also based on decision we make as adults. So like, okay, I don't want my kid to do this. I don't want my kid to do that. You start saying the wrong and the right is the way to them. They were applying their own wrong and rights. So that's what I feel though. So you said something about like, okay, you wanted to become an accountant. Yeah. So what made you choose accounting if you did not want to become an accountant?
I didn't even know. I thought I loved accounting. I thought.
But like, what made you think? Like, nobody just wake up and say,
I love accounting.
I think I love accounting. Accounting is the best.
No, like I thought accounting like is this business platform. Like I love the business, but I didn't want to go into business admin because I feel like it's a useless course. It's still a useless course actually.
Why do you think so?
Because I feel university should scrap that business admin.
Why?
I don't know, but it's a useless course. It's better way than this way, business management. It is better that way. Business admin, like presently now, the job rate on business admin is very low, like maybe zero.
Maybe because the Nigeria context, the way it is, because business administration is, my God, is wild. Like I still want to go back to learn business. I still want to go back to, because I feel like
business management. That's like the businessman.
What's the difference between like business admin and business management?
Business management is like the administration part. Business management is the real job, like the real deal in business. Like you're managing
It's just the same thing.
the same thing.
It's wait. In a corporation now, what is the work of a business management that is so different to the one a business admin does?
Okay, business management now is like, okay, let's say director. Business admin is like receptionist.
No.
See, I feel like administration is more complex. In administration, like for example, you as an administrator now, under administration, we have receptionists, we have secretaries, we have managers, we have directors, so it's like
Really broad that you can just choose. You can just choose that under this business admin, I want to be a receptionist, I want to be an assistant, I want to be a secretary. You know, it's like it's like it is okay. Now tell me that in a company, if we have the whole company and then there's no secretary,
but there's no administrator. You say
we will need them. They're also useful.
What I'm trying to say is that business management is like it's more advanced. Like it's complex than business admin. I feel
maybe like business managers that they are like more paid.
They are like business development in like little companies, in small companies. In big companies, there's business development officer. That's BDU. They are that one. They develop a business. They go through it and everything that they see that, okay, this business is really developed. Business management is like the same thing, but in little companies, lower companies, not higher companies like that. So that's what they are called. Business management, they manage. But business management, that's why I said business admin is like the receptionist, all those menial jobs like that. I'm so sorry to say. So I feel the reason why I wanted to be an accountant is like maybe I loved the money aspect, like making money. So I feel like accounting leads to that line. When I found out that I was already done with school, then where they posted me to like my PPA, place of assignment, And that's when I found out that I don't even like accounting. I love the business part more than
What is the business part?
like business management. Something like that, like fully in business, not like I'll be doing transactions. I'll be taking records.
That's accounting.
And I don't like that
okay,
part.
like, you
Like
just-
the main part, the
You
business
just
part.
want
That's
the
what-
money.
The money, please. Let's develop a business. Let's see that okay, this business is done and everything is still like that. Not like I'll be recording financial records. Which one is that one? I found out I don't like accounting.
That's another issue in Nigeria. All of us, we are all going for the money. We are all going, like, some of us are just like, let's just go to school. Just before they will say we did not go to school,
It's
just go
money
to
now.
school. And then we'll come out of school and be like, okay, what job is paying more? What is the most paying job? I'll get into that because it is paying more. We are not going into it because we love it. And then that's why some of them, they want to go to work in the morning and then they are not happy. Because they know that this job, I'm not happy with this, but the money is good. So I feel like we should also try to go with our interest, what we love doing.
Well, what I love doing, my parents won't allow me to do it.
Before we enter the parents,
Before we unpack that, let me say something. So I want to go back to the issue of business management and business administration. So really, like when I was making my own research and while I was, trying to put, as like a businesswoman to that, trying to like put things together, or even contextually, when they say the current administration, that is, they are talking about every person that has to do with the paperwork, the execution, the planning, you understand, the nitty-gritty of the entire business, all the way from the CEO, the oga at the top, to the secretary, down to the receptionist that is bringing people in, that is recording. You understand? Those are parts of the administration in my own that has like a role to execute in the company. Then management is now how they now execute that role. Now, business management. Okay, now you're saying, oh, there's no stock. What do we need to buy? What do we need to manufacture? How do people react to our products? What things do we need to do? Who is best suited for this role? Who will do this role better? It's just like shifting around the chessboard now, right? It's like, okay, you're managing this person, you're managing this, you're managing this job, you are doing your role, execution of your roles. That's what so they also, I feel like it is also, I feel like it's, sorry guys. So, okay, I feel like that's just business, the business management and business administration. So, and I feel it's also synonymous because some people like, the current management, that's how they are in text, contextually, or say, the current administration, that's what they are doing now. So it's always contextual, but I'm not a business person, I didn't study business administration. So all those lingo might be confused, it might be different, I'm just using the Nigeria sense. It might be different. I feel like when it comes to that, it's more about the orientation. Like if people are well oriented, like they have an orientation of what they want to become, it might be easy. Now, for example, when people in Nigeria, let's use Nigeria as a case study, right? We don't really have that much of a choice when it comes to education wise. And I'm going to explain. People might say, okay, I know I have sense, but please let me explain. I have an explanation. Now, at the age of, like, when you finish primary school, you go to secondary school. Secondary school, you have the GSS class. At that point in time, they are asking, what do you want to become? I want to become an astronaut. I want to become a firefighter. I've wanted to become a firefighter before. I want to become a pilot. All cool. I'm not saying that it's not valid, right? But then we have SS1. In SS1, we have arts, science, commercial. It's just like your fate is sealed.
yes,
Because if you go to arts and you go through arts those 3 years, if you want to go to science, you have to start.
again.
You have to come back.
Then
So,
be like, I cannot
yeah.
again, I'll just go.
So some people will be like, science, then, now, they are selling towards doctor, engineer, lawyer, right?
Science are the biggest one.
So if people are going to art class, you'll be hearing, I want to become a lawyer or mass communication journalist.
Just that.
Basically, there are other fields, but that's what is being sold, like in the contextual, like in the Nigerian space, right? That's what is being sold. commercial, you're thinking accounting, you're thinking business administration, you're thinking commerce, banking and finance. You're not thinking about fintech. There's also a crossover between the financial world and the technology world. You're not thinking about no. So you're just thinking about those rigid structures, rigid. They're all rigid structures. So at the end of the day, I mean, because I remember vividly, I used to write books. I've been writing books right from the age of 9 years old. I remember vividly, my dad took me to the counselor on my science class. So what? Please talk to her. Is it art class she wants to become? I did not go to art class because what will my friends say? I repeated. I was in SS2. She repeated class. I'm like, what do my friends say? She went back to SS1. I was not very good in physics. I was not very good in chemistry. I was like average students at most. She gets. I was not having bad grades, but I was just like, floating. It's not as if they will go like, oh, Kola, she's like the best student in the world. Like, no, or they will go, Kola, she's very bad. No. But I feel like those rigid structures have been put in place. And there's discrimination now surrounding it again. So if you drop out, they'll be like, oh, she has repeated her class. She don't know book, that kind of thing. So in my mind, I was like, art class, no. And my dad is also a big lover of science. So if it felt like science class is where we should go, right? He wants us to be doctors and all of that. So when he realized I love to write, it was not like, because of that rigid structure, not knowing that even as a science student, I can also be a writer.
Alright.
As a science student, I can also do art-related courses. I can also take professional courses online. I can also do all of these things. But because of that rigid structure, I feel I have to take a step back to start all over in another field. And when you think about it, at that age, what do we know? I'm not talking about our own, I'm not talking about the children of today. I'm not talking about children of nowadays. But I'm talking about like that. What do we know? We are not being taught adequately to equip us. We don't have that infrastructure all in place. During my time, in place. So, and a lot of people are going to free schools, government schools that don't have this solid infrastructure that will help us. So back then, so I feel like those rigid structure. Now, you graduate secondary school, right? You can't say, oh, I graduated, I did science class, I want to go and study law. You can't. You can't say, oh, I've graduated science class now. Me, I don't want to study. I don't want to become a doctor again. Let me go to banking and finance. You have to go back. So it's just like that. So even if your mind has changed when you finish secondary school, you can't go back. There's always a stigma with going back. It's not as if it's not impossible. It's not, it's like it's impossible not to go back, but there's also always a stigma attached to it. So you have to keep going forward with what you have. Even if you don't like it, just keep going forward. And there's also like my mates are already going to school. So the orientation, all people stay, have been at home for a while. And some people, it's even interesting. Schools, you apply for medicine and surgery. If you don't meet up to the cutoff mark, they'll give you like chemistry or biology.
You have to now go.
Now, some people now be like, I have to go forward because if I go back, what if they don't pick me the next time? Yeah. What if I don't make the cutoff? It is still, see that you're already changing your course of life. It is synonymous. It is synonymous to medicine, chemistry. Chemistry is synonymous. No, most of them chose nursing. Most of them chose MLS, but they are not, instead of them to say, just go and reevaluate yourself, go and do this. You want to study medicine, you have to be good, you have to go back. Some of them don't even want it. It's their parents that want them to study medicine. Yeah. So there's that rigid structure. You now enter university again. You now graduate. You now say, how will you now say, it's what I don't like they gave me. You get what I'm trying? How would you now? That decision has been skewed right from time. That decision making has been wobbly. You get so. So now let's come back to
even school now is like just a place to go and do shakara, a place to be free from home. Let's just go there and enjoy ourselves. Nobody.
It will shock them.
Nigerian students that are actually going to school because of their education. I just think it's up to 20% again. Like
a lot of people just want to go to school so because we went to university or so that, can get away from home, so that my mate has gone to school, so I have to go to school. Yeah. I feel like the orientation is right from, that's why I used to tell people like, what do you want to do? Go. I'm sure it's at the back of your mind. And if you have not figured it out yet, you have the rest of your life to figure it out, right? So what is it you want to do? You hear some people, this thing is okay. It's okay, or is what you want to do. right? So we can't really blame everybody that has gone through that situation. Like, okay, I studied this for so years. I feel like they have a choice. They can drop out. You can be very brutal and say, they could have dropped out. They should have gone and do this. It's very easy to say. But when you're in an African home where education sometimes is a luxury, you're in a Nigerian setting whereby education it has its own pedestal. Like, you go to school, they look at that. It's something your parents brag about. Oh, me want school. My child is in school. The first child.
Lives.
Yes.
Even among our peers, like, we graduated secondary school together. Me, I've entered school. You have
Yes,
entered
that's
school. We are
cool.
not the same.
There's always
The one
that
is now
something
at
of
home,
pride.
like, is it different? They'll be so stigmatized. Like, my mates are now in school, 300 level, 200 level. I'm still where I am. I've not gotten
Yes,
admission.
yeah.
Like, everybody will now start separating each other. Like, these are the ones giving admission. These are the ones that are still left behind.
You see your friend, maybe just finished graduating secondary school. You see your friend. Have you registered for JAM? What's your score? What school are you going
What's your
to?
business?
Or this is the second time you're writing JAM.
I just fit your
And it's not if the person is not smart. There are some people that actually probably pass over 200. You know, I'm not saying it's a big flex to have a very good score, because I used to feel proud when I have like good grades as well. I used to be like, so I tried my best. It's a big flex. But then some people are not dullard, so. But the way the system is designed, the way it is, like, probably they have 200 and, let's say, 30 something, and they want to go for maybe like accounting, or they want to, study something in school. But the saturation, there are a lot of people already, and that school is only going to take maybe a certain number of students. So, you get what I'm trying to say? They would have to get, and I'm not going to say this is alleged, this is speculation. The corruption, like, okay, some set of students are already, lobbied in. So we all know that there are some mechanization behind it, that some people with good grades don't actually gain admission. They would have to rewrite, or they'll have to go to another school, or they have to change their course. So it is like that. That's another factor that happens, right? There are some people that they have very good grades, but they don't enter medicine. So they have to change their course to at least get in school. Yes. So they don't have to rewrite JAMB the following year. Because some people tell you when you get to school, you can cross in 100 level. When you get to 200 level, you can cross. And even that in itself is difficult, because the department you are crossing to might only accept a particular number of students, probably like 20. In my school, back then, we are like over 1 billion that chose nursing. Like 1 billion people. Nursing. When they dash us chemistry, physics, biology.
Okay.
Well, should we write JAM next year? I say, no. What do you mean? Enter the school. When you get to 200 level, you can cross.
It's not easy.
All of us are like, okay, it's possible.
Okay.
Now, nursing. They are only accepting 10 students, I'll be 50 students doing my set out of 1 billion of us. You get, but some people are like, okay, I want to cross to this department. At least it is similar, but there's always a boundary. You cannot say because I studied chemistry, I can be a doctor. No. You cannot say because I studied physics, I can be a civil engineer. You can do further studies, but you get what I'm trying to say. So it's because of all those rigid structures. And people not having proper orientation, not having proper orientation. So let's unpack your. Let's unpack your this thing.
So, if there's an opportunity for me, I would like to go into acting fully, but my parents won't allow.
Why? Why? Have you tried?
Because my Naomi, I didn't even make an attempt because of what she said. Because all those industry story and also I try not to go because me I cannot. My love for director letting before another side. I didn't even make an attempt at all. I didn't even drop any monologue, but I only do like church acting. That's all. After them, it's good in here. Continue, move on like that.
What about you?
Me, it's a very twisted story, like a long journey. Actually, when I was first small, like when I was still young, when they asked what do you want to become, I'll be like, doctor. I want to be a doctor. I just want to be a doctor. I just want to be a doctor. Me, I was not even entering surgeon. I just said doctor, medical doctor. Also, I got to around, I think GSS 3, and I was like, okay. Then I started searching because my mom said I should search. So I searched and I saw other fields under medicine. Then I saw gynecologist. I was like, okay. I would love to be a gynecologist. I would love to be then when we entered SS1, SS2, SS3, the way it was so tough. It's, unlike poles, unlike terms, that's how me and physics are. Very, very bad. I've never gotten A's. It's always F. Maybe luckily I will have C or T. So it's like, it's not even as if I used to get bad grades. Like, I'm always still part of the first 5 students. But that physics is so bad. So bad. So bad. So I was not like, maybe science is not for me. So it was not like, maybe I should just go back and do arts. But I was like, I'm one of the biggest girls in this our class. I cannot go back.
Yes, exactly. That's stigma, like going back. Yeah.
Like, and she has gone back. She has gone. So I just do it like that. It's medicine now. So we did it like that. So I think that because the jam was not really good. Social, due to some circumstances, I'm not a public health scientist in school. But even with that, it was not what I wanted to study. That's not what I want to study. But I'm like, that's what life.
Exactly.
I have to just find.
People will not be like, that's what life gave me, so let me do it.
Yeah.
It's what life gave me. See, I realized something and I realized it the hard way. I felt like, if I keep saying, this is what life handed me, let me just deal with it, I'll remain in the same spot. Because mentally, I don't want to go there. Where life is taking me, I don't want to follow and go mentally. Emotionally, that the way life is taking me, I don't want. But then, you're saying life is taking you. Who is the owner of the life? It's not yours. It's my life. And it is in my body. That is to say, I have the ability and the capability to control it. I can decide I want to sleep. I can decide I want to stand. I can decide I want to sit. I can decide I want to eat. I can decide I want to walk. So why can't I decide what I want to do? So I used to think about it like, if I keep saying, let me just hold off, last, people will talk. They cannot talk for 5 years. People cannot talk for 2 years. They cannot talk for 1 month. Last, what would they say? They will say it within a few hours, a few days. It will trend. That's it. So I just feel like if I keep putting myself in a situation whereby I don't achieve what I want to do, it's going to mess me up mentally. Like what you said now that I said, okay, you want to go into acting. There are other forms of acting. There are other ways you can get into acting. The outcome must not always be bad. You say, okay, you want to, like now, this thing I'm doing now, this entire GREYGRAY production now, it's under like acting. There's filming, there's videography, there's photography, there's creative writing. You get what I'm trying to say? And I was thinking to myself, the industry is saturated. Like you said, there's a lot of terrible people in the industry. There's king. Then why don't I make my own opportunities? If I say, okay, let me go and join them, who knows when I'll be able to get to their own top? Why don't I start my own platform? Give room for other people. When they come on, when they do their own, let them to go outside, go and start their platform. Let them spread. Let it spread. Let the saturation be desaturated. You get what I'm trying to say? Let everybody scatter. Let them go and make their own. Do their own creation, create their own things. So I feel like there's only just one thing that keeps stopping us from doing what we want, and that is fear. And majorly that fear, it's not like fear like they'll hit me, that emotional, that mental, like, and that mental self, 50% is from you, because you think like, am I actually a failure? Am I actually going to embarrass them? Am I actually going to ruin their reputation? Like, if I do this thing, if it turns out the way they say it, they'll say I told you so. You start to think about all those things. All the while you're thinking about those things, you are still on that same spot. You're still on that same spot. So I just feel like most people realize what they want to become late because of how rigid this structure is, wiring, how we've been wired. So when you realize that this way you are being wired is not what you want to be, like your soul, your energy, your mind is restraining, like it is fighting against that boundary. That boundary is saying you are in a cage, but you are realizing that there's a world outside that cage. So as you are pushing into, it's pushing you back. Pushing is pushing you back. But when you just have to look down, or you just have to look up, find the key, just open the door, you get out. Just get out.
You can still do the acting, regardless of what anybody has to say. Because it has been like that for others, doesn't mean it to be like that for you. We are not the same. So if you try it, there's a possibility that you might just, and like that, you have gotten what you want, you have gotten your dream, you are doing what you want, you love what you are doing, And once you are doing what you love, you will make great exploits. Like, you just do it, put all your energy, put all your mind,
And
you're just doing it.
This day and age, self, it is very easy because sorry, it's not as if I'm shading actors and actresses. Or I feel they put in immense work, whatever they do. But there are platforms whereby you don't need a director, you don't need this, you can showcase your work. YouTube is there. There are platforms, TikTok now. We just need to be good. We just need to be good.
Now. I like TikTok.
Exactly. You just need to be good. You need to be good at what you do. Put that quality in. Let people see like, oh, if I watch this person's content, it's quality. Consistent quality. Just keep firing. Quality. Before you know it, the opportunities will flood. Now, you now start thinking, how do I now, like, how that management, you now start thinking how to manage all of them. Is this good for me? Is this a death trap deal? Is this a deal that is not working out? You'll be able to analyze. You're able to say, okay, this person, do they have ill intents? You get, or just some people fall into trap before they realize it. But then you'll be able to, I feel like you'll be able to create your own following without having to rely heavily on somebody. And when you think about those people, most people that they are, I'm not saying that that's the case for everybody, but a lot of people that are pushed, that are taking, like, for example, you see like a star just came out today now, this big star, that they have connection. No, do you know what they've done? Do you know the kind of food they've eaten? Do you know the kind of things they've put their hand into? Exactly. I just used to feel like there's always a story for everybody. You cannot just say, because you have to create your own story, write your own story. If it does not work out, you know it's you that you write another one. If it works out, it has
just like you say if life throws lemon at you, you will
it's true. Like, you're expecting life to give you watermelon, then it gives you lemon. Some people like make lemonade. I don't drink lemonade.
Fleet. Just now you go put on for you.
Exactly. You show them pepper. So I just feel like that's it, Sha. So people transition. Transition is very difficult though. So, and it's easy for people to victim blame, saying, show Wale drop out. Can't you drop out? Can't you go and start? Can't you start another platform? Can't you? I say it's easy. It's not easy. And is it easy? It's not even the physical aspect. It's about the mental aspect.
Everything is just the mental. Like, your mental health has to be okay.
The mental and the emotional aspect. That is what is actually, because when I say, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not the physical toil. It's more about the mental and the emotional part of it. And when you realize that you can get past that, you realize how easy it actually is. Sure, you get. You know, you can always seek advice from them, quite alright. But to lead your life, do you want to look back and say, I lived the dream my mom wants?
I had done that.
Or I just feel like just live, enjoy your existence. It's your airtime. That's how I look at it. Everybody is handed airtime. Like me now. Who even knows if like it's next week or it's 1 year, it's like 30 years God gave me or 50 years God gave me. So out of that 30 years or 50 years or even 80 years, I've used like half of it for somebody else.
Then your life is not.
And that person has their own airtime. So they are spending theirs and they are spending mine. You get what I'm trying to say? You are giving your airtime, I'm giving my airtime. I'm not spending yours, I'm spending yours. I'm influencing you to do what I want. I'm influencing you to do what I want. And I'm still enjoying my own airtime. So I can just look at you and say, she's doing what I want. I dig it. She's doing what I want. I'm looking at you. You're doing what I want. And I have my own airtime. So what is left for you or what is left for the person might not be 1 year. You know, be like, this is the best year of my life. Every other year I've been suffering. I've been mentally.
God, everybody should just do what, as I am like this. I'm still very, very young. So I'm just trying to try every opportunity possible.
Hey, enjoy your existence.
Many things I want to be my head. I will not tell my parents because I'll do it by myself. I'll just do it. I want to be a counselor. I'll do it. I want to try to be an air hostess because I want to know what they are doing in that air. I will still do it. I will do everything. I will do everything. So just do what
my life is so funny that whenever I get to a stage, opportunities will come. And I get to try them. I'll be like, I don't like this one, Daddy. I'll move again.
Okay, you're saying something.
I think everybody should try as much as possible to keep learning. Like, even though you are in secondary school, like now, there's time for all these things that youths are now doing nowadays. There's still time for these things. Just focus on the main thing. Stop trying to jump. Like you're moving faster than your shadow, and it's going to really hit you bad that you will not even know where you start. So if you're in secondary school, you should try as not to just keep learning, research more. I'm in this department. Is that what I want to do? There's still time for everything. This is not what I want to do. Then you can maybe start. But it's just that nobody wants to start again. But
Nobody
if you're in university, keep learning also.
But the thing is, the interesting thing is like, are they really starting again? Like, for example, now they're not really starting again. When you look at, aside like, okay, you want to go into like an academic pursuits that you have to start, like get probably the WAEC results in another department entirely. But when you look at it, with all the experience you've garnered, they are very, very intertwined. So, somebody's experience as a banker might be different from someone else's experience as a banker, but at the end of the day, they are both bankers. I feel you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So this entire economic thing that is going on in Nigeria, everybody's feeling it. Let's say like the majority of the mass are feeling it. This social life, everything that is going on in Nigeria, we're all under the same heat, we're all under the same sun. So in the long run, it's not like you are entirely scraping and you're entirely starting again. You are transitioning, like you're moving from one aspect into another aspect. But you are still, let's say, for example, person is 25, you're still 25. It doesn't mean that if you transition, you start from all the way from zero again. They'll give birth, you are rebirth, they'll be reborn. I'm not to say it. Look, better have you, the better of the reborn. So you're transitioning. At the end, all me I'll just say is that, transition period is very, very, as someone who transitioned myself, like it is very, very difficult. I studied pure and applied chemistry in university. And now I have like a filmmaking company. You get what I'm trying to say? So I remember someone was telling me, what did you study in school? I said, I studied pure and applied chemistry. What did you graduate with? It was an elderly person, right? So what did you graduate with? I graduated with second class. Oh, that's okay. What are you doing now? Where are you now working? I said, I have my own company. You know that look, because everybody's a CEO in Nigeria. CEO Shamsi, CEO Dobbs, CEO Dabs, Abike CEO, Abike Wire, it's money CEO. Everybody's Abike pre-order, everybody is now CEO. The business is not registered. Everybody's a CEO in Nigeria.
Who register?
Have you crazy? I see their friends. CEO Shamsi. Sorry, if there's anybody very CEO Shamsi, I did not mean it though. I don't know you. I'm just saying it's like she gets. So I feel like, the guy was like, I have my own company, it's a filmmaking company. Like, you have your own company. Okay, what's your company? I say, it's a creative production company. We do filmmaking, photography, and writing. Writing being the oldest, because I've been writing for over a decade, like over 10 years I've been writing professionally. So I was like, I studied chemistry. So I studied chemistry. You studied chemistry. This was a very good family friend. Studied chemistry. What did your daddy now say?
I don't understand.
What did your daddy now say? I was like, what would he say? Like, I'm doing great, like, and I'm making him proud. So what would he say? Like, I'm trying my best. And I was like, okay. But you know what I got from that entire conversation was that they just expect that, you studied chemistry, you probably graduate and suddenly start working at Chevron and Shell, start working like one big lab. Like, because when I graduate, the lab is already waiting for me. Like, come,
We have been waiting.
my daughter,
Come in, baby.
this is us. Oh, Chevron. If I Chevron will call you call your school. It's that girl I want. That girl I want. So they said and also, as someone who transitioned, you go from studying chemistry to filmmaking. People would ask you like, how did you, like, what is the correlation? But what it is that right from, because I've been writing since like I was 9, right? Professionally, when I was writing maybe like 10 or 12. So they start saying, okay, what's it that's like, why is it that you started doing, you now went to school to study chemistry? But I'm going to say this. Storytelling has always been something that I've always loved. And I don't even mind if it is true writing, I just love telling story. I watch a movie and I want to tell it to my friends. I always have this dialogue, Mr. B. dot Mr. B says this, Mr. A dot she says this, and I'll take it to my school. Me and my friends will say, oh yeah, you are A, you are Mr. B, you are Sassy. It used to be very, very interesting, right, in school. So I'll bring my books, my friends will take it out. Shout out to those my friends. You guys are my real G. Like, you made me really happy in school. So I'll bring it, and sometimes my sister will narrate my story. Like, I want to write a new story. I'll narrate it to her. Even my former roommates in university, I used to narrate all my stories to her. The people around me, I narrate my stories to them. So I feel like storytelling has always been something that has been consistent. And getting to school, despite the fact my daddy know that it's storytelling that I love, but as a father who is in Nigeria, who is also a good man, and he has seen all these struggles, wants his daughter to become his daughter to become a doctor. So it just feels like, you'll be able to help people. And that time I also felt like doctor was a very, very sexy profession. Like, I used to just feel like those doctors, they are so good looking. Like, it was a very catching profession. And I've had people tell me about, being a doctor. So I just feel like, okay. And around that time I was watching Grey's Anatomy too, the way the doctors put up everything. I was like, wait, I can be like them, Then I applied JAM first year. I was too young. OAU was still doing that. If you are less than 16, you cannot enter school. And I'd already finished my secondary school around like 14 going to 15, or they're very young. I finished like 15. So 15, they said very young. Then I wrote another JAM the following year. I applied. Then I now wrote the following year. I now wrote JAM, but I did not get admission. I got provisional admission, remedial. Like all this pre-degree.
Oh, okay.
Remedial. That time. So you don't know, for people who don't know, they used to give you provisional admission then. They will send, even school you did not apply for, will send you the Bells University, they will send it as SMS. So they sent provisional admission to Lautech that I did not choose. I went there. I wrote their exam. I got in there, did pre-degree for 1 year before I now finally entered the school. So when I did pre-degree for 1 year, at the back of my mind, medicine, but I was still writing, right? So when I now gained admission, I did not miss the cutoff for medicine. Normally, in a sane environment, you did not meet the cutoff, you try again, right? You study hard, you keep up, you try again. But they gave me pure and applied chemistry. And then my dad was like, no, ma worry, we'll jam me next year. But in my mind, I'm like, no,
I'm going to stay at home again.
I'll stay at home after pre-degree and I come back. That is to say, I went to school and they kicked me out. So I was rusticated. But it was not like that. My dad tried to explain to me that it's not like that. But that pressure in my head of seeing my mates and everything. So I was like, you know what? Let me just do the chemistry. I'll toughen it up. And then my mom, who is the ever optimistic person, she was telling me, pure and applied chemistry, there are jobs you can do. You can work at companies. And so I researched up on it. I was like, okay, I can work at this company. It's not what I wanted, but it was looking nice. When they present to you like that, it was looking like it's not bad of a life if I have that kind of life. So when I did my 100 level, Lautech showed me shaggy. Like, it was not what I estimated. The stress was too much. 200 level, we were studying chemistry. It was looking like one Hebrew language, it was looking so, but I was toughing it out. Then I was still writing, and I realized that the only source of joy, the only thing that gave me pleasure was when I wrote stories. And I was actively into all these NGOs in school back then. I'm talking about, I started an NGO that were donating books to school. We did Grace Book Club. In fact, nice time. We're hosting this event for literary events. So I realized that was what was bringing me joy throughout my entire school days, my entire school year. So I felt like that was, so when I now graduated, right? My dad was like, okay, you have graduated now. Let's start applying for this. During my final year and everything, let's start applying for this, applying for that. I just told him, said, see, I'm not doing.
I'm doing.
I said, Daddy. And funny enough, when I told them, there was the initial shock. I was like, I'm not doing. But during those times, I was already earning, right when I was in school, I was already earning from writing. So I was already taking ghostwriting jobs on Fiverr, on Upwork. So I was already earning small money, small change for myself. So it was not as if I was actively looking for a job. It was stable enough. Sure, you get not stable in the sense that it will can buy me house and land, though. But you get, like, I was still having a little change with me, right? So I started a business. So back then in school, like, okay, to help the business fail, different businesses back then in school that failed. Story for another day. But back to the the whole transition, because I did a lot of things. I sold ogi. I think I've told you before. I sold ogi in school. I sold drink. I sold a lot of things in school while I was in school. I started writing job. I sold clothes. I sold fabrics back in school. But story for another day, guys. So transitioning into, and I realized that, okay, I love storytelling. I love writing stories. I like listening to storytellers too. What can I do with storytelling that would make it lucrative? How can I make it lucrative? I'm already earning money through writing, but is that sufficient for somebody who wants generational wealth? I was slacking. So is that sufficient? Then I transitioned into like, okay, let me start podcast. Let me start my first YouTube channel. Let me create a platform for myself. I was trying to sign up for all these companies. I was so into Korean, Asian world. So I was looking at Hype, JYP, SM Entertainment. I just realized that, you know what? Let me just pipe down. I need to re-strategize. I need to think about things. And I spoke about it. So it's not as if it was very easy for my parents to be like, okay, you don't want to get a job. Even till now, sometimes my dad would be like, I see you're doing well, kiniko. But there's this scholarship. Mm-hmm. Would you like to apply? I was like, this scholarship is very, very, you understand? It's not as if it's like, oh, you have to stop what you are doing. Sometimes he's very, very proud. He even wants to come on the show one time. I'm like, okay, this is my daughter. He's proud of it. But there's that fatherly instinct, like he wants a stability for his child, because he knows that everything I'm doing now is out of pocket, right? Mm-hmm. So he wants that stability that every month money will be coming in. So you have something to rely on, right? So transitioning into that, I was like, okay, how do we tell more stories? We tell stories through filmmaking. We tell stories through podcasts. We tell stories through photographs. Then I started learning all these things online. It's not as if I actually went to a school to learn them. I learned them off YouTube. Beautiful content. When you go on YouTube, if you want to see how to tie rope, it's on YouTube.
That is a very mad
house. How to tie rope is, so you can find everything. And transitioning. So it sounds sweet the way I'm saying it now. But during those times, somebody's going to say, okay, she cried for like how many days? She suffered for how many days? She went hungry for how many days? She walked home from our workplace to home how many days? So there's all this gap, all these painful periods in time whereby you just lie down, you don't want to do anything, you don't want to talk to anybody, you are angry, you're unnecessarily angry. If someone will talk to you, I come and wash it, you just be easing. Okay, it's up.
God, this country.
Are you not hungry? Are you not?
Last year, I think November, December, then beginning of this year, January, I was in school, just like, in the public attention, not me, first year, I don't want to do it. Throughout that semester, like the beginning of the semester, I did not go to class. They would do, I'd be like, give the lecturer for me, I'm not going. They'll be like, there's a class, there's a test, I'm not going. I'm not going. But my love phone got a fresh. I now made the session. I was like, okay, I can actually do great in this field. Like, I will do great. I'll just do well and all that.
Transition is hard, really.
It's really hard.
Really hard. Because even as we are growing, even as we are now, we are still trying to figure it out.
Yes. Everybody, we are learning every day.
We are still trying to figure out.
I'm even the baby learner. I'll just learn and learn.
Yes, we are still trying to figure it out. So
I was so into Korean, Asian world. So I was looking at Hype, JYP, SM Entertainment. I just realized, I know what, let me just fight down. I need to strategize. I need to think about things. So it's not as if it was very easy for my parents to be like, okay, you don't want to get a job. Even till now, sometimes my dad would be like, I see you're doing well, because there's this scholarship. Would you like to apply? I said, the scholarship is very, very, you understand? It's not as if it's like, oh, you have to stop what you're doing. Sometimes,
seriously,
he wants to come on the show one time. I'm like, okay, this is my daughter, he's proud of it. But there's that fatherly instinct, like, he wants a stability for his child, because he knows that everything I'm doing now is out of pocket, right? So he wants that stability that every month money will be coming in. So you have something to rely on, right? So try
And truth be told too, it's like, there is always a moment of truth whereby you realize that this thing you are doing, probably those that want to transition, but they don't know how to transition. They're like, what will people say? That thing hurts a lot. Like, you feel like, what will people say? You might not say it out like this. And some people are very funny. When you say, what will people say? They'll ease at you. They'll be like, you're not supposed to feel like that. It's your life. It's hard.
It's very hard.
It's very easy to say.
Your parents.
Or people people that actually mean well for you.
Yeah.
For example, now, in high esteem, people that mean well for you, when they tell you like what you are doing or what you want to do, I'm against it. Even though it's a good thing, you will feel bad.
Yes.
Why? Because you know that these people love you. They want the best for you, but you can't say no. But then it's you that will now try to realize, like, pitch it to them. If you want to, like a friend of mine will say like, 1 minute into the conversation, Zainab is already pitching. Like you pitch it to them. You pitch your ideas. Just the way you pitch your ideas to like an investor. The way you pitch your ideas to somebody who wants to invest in your company, a sponsor. Pitch it to your parents. If you want to do PowerPoint presentation, do the PowerPoint presentation. Pitch your ideas to them. Some people like, you don't understand. My parents are very, very hard. They're very
True. They cannot.
True. But then you have to just know that you are not alone. There are people you can talk to. There are courses you can take. There are a lot of material and resources. There are people that have done it ahead of you. They are doing well. They are doing fine. Seek their counsel. Ask from them. If possible, bring them over to your parents. Let them talk to them. Let them see that, okay, this thing we are doing is not bad.
The first thing everybody should just believe in yourself. It's like people just hear it that believe in yourself. Like they are not taking it like it is a very short sentence, but it has a lot of weight. Like just try to believe in yourself. You want to do this, believe in yourself. Anything. Stop trying to look at the negative and positive side, because at the end of the day you will weigh the negative side more than the positive. So try to look at the bright side of things, even though everything has the dark side, but like try to look at the bright side. The bright side is so bright, like everything is just all sunshine. Try it and just dive into it, and you see that you are doing this. Although the dark side might come, but you have done it already. So now it's time for you to fight, since you have already dived into what you love. And for some people that they are still not wired like normally, like you still want to please people, you are living your life for others, or you are living others' life in you, try to like maybe go for therapy session. So, take counsel. Honestly, everybody in this country, like 99% of us needs to go for like 99% of us needs to go for therapy session. Me like this, if I already said this is when I was young, like I think it was last 2 years. Last 2 years was really, really bad for me. I just decided at the end of the year like this, that when I grow up and I have money, I will go for therapy session, because only last year says that I need to go for therapy session. So just try to help yourself. You are living your life. Live your life. Do everything you want to do for yourself. Go for therapy session. It's not a bad thing. It will help you. Go for counseling. It's not a bad thing. Even if it's somebody that is like younger than you, I think that this person is doing better than you in this field, ask for advice. It's not as if the person will insult you. You should try to ask more questions, learn every day, do research, believe in yourself. Just take action. Don't be stagnant.
To transition into acting, what do you think? Is it that you're just... But like, if you want to transition into acting, what do you think you can do to actually make it like achievable?
Well, I spoke to my aunt and she said I can do like podcasts. Yeah, she said it a long time ago when I was 7. I told her about it because I write also too, but I'm not that deep into it. I don't like writing when there's a deadline. I like to write at my own pace. Like
when the industry has deadline.
if there's this
okay, that is if you are writing your own book.
I write for other companies, so that I write for Good Novel. This app, Good Novel, is 30 days now. That's a lot of days for me to write. I can meet up. So those kind of, not like 2 days, 1 week. No, I have other things, something like that. So acting, I tell like inspirational talks and all these motivational talks and all. So I'm really good at that. that I should go for podcast. But that one is another day. I beg. I don't dey focus on
You
another
can
thing.
still do it actually.
I know I can do it. I know, but
You can even start now with your phone.
it's something another day.
You can even start now with your phone.
So it's another thing. Sha. So I can do it. I can do it. Yeah.
You can do it. If you want to do something, do it. Don't say when I get to this age, I will start.
No, not age.
I feel like I wish I should have started long time ago, Seth.
With the way you now love what you are doing, and like I wish I could have started since. Like
I see.
I would have
I've not
made a
figured it
lot
out
more
yet.
progress. Like
Yeah, you have the rest of your life to figure it out.
I've not figured
Yes.
it out. I'm still trying all that thing. I still have a
Listen,
lot.
the way I was talking, the way everybody's talking this morning, I did not say this is what I want to do because
I've
I'm
not figured it
I'm
out.
still figuring it out. I know that okay.
I've not figured
I'm studying
it out.
public health
I'm
science,
not.
and if I have the opportunity, I want to be a public health consultant.
Yeah.
Like because I can see that I cannot go back to being a gynecologist if I don't know physics. And me, I don't have time for physics. You should sit down.
So I just feel like, people just limit themselves because of the fear of what might happen. When you get to that bridge, you cross it now. Like, you've been living your life all this. Do you know what's going to happen tomorrow? God knows that if people know what's going to happen tomorrow, we'll be like, don't let me go to tomorrow. Because today, let me stay today. It's not possible. You still get to tomorrow. So when you get to that bridge, you cross it. That's it. Let me keep saying, I don't want to do it. What if it don't happen? Why is it that what if used to be negative?
What if it's always negative? Like
Like, I used to wonder, why is it that what if is always negative? Like,
you just get rid of all the what if.
exactly. Well, what if that system not break? What if it did not break? What if it did not break? What if I now learn gynecology is too late? What if it is never too late? Or what if something happened? What if it did not happen? So there's just always that positivity that we should radiate. I feel like those people who are transitioning, it's very easy to say, right? But they are really, really going through a lot of pressure, mental and emotional pressure, mostly more than physical pressure. Because physical pressure, they might be laughing, they might be happy,
Look so happy.
but deep down in their mind, they feel like, what this person is doing, I want to do it. But what will my parents say? What will society say? What will, and I used to say, it's those people, funny enough, some people already predict what their parents will say for them. They've not actually told their parents. Some people will predict what their brothers and sisters are going to say. They've not actually told them. So when you tell them at the end of the day, like, I want to do this, they're like, go for it. And I'm like, so I can go for it. Like, why can't you go for it? Those ones are already, they're already running their own life. That one is even thinking what to eat for breakfast or what to eat for dinner. So they are running their own race. So they can't focus 100% on you. But you are the one conditioning yourself like that. And it's your airtime, like I say. Don't let somebody else use it. No, nobody's going to pay you for it. So just do it. Just jump.
Just do it. Just do it. Do
Any
it. Do
opportunity
it.
that comes your way, better do it. Oh.
As long as you're not killing anybody, as long as you're not hurting anybody, hurting in terms of like morally, and not hurting in terms of like, if I do this, they'll be frustrated at me. No. It's not something bad. As long as it's not criminal, it's not a felony, you're not hurting anybody, you're not killing anybody. It's something that is morally upright. Like, although it's contextually, how would I say it? It is subjective, but as long as it's not illegal, go ahead. Because some people will be like, I want to do Yahoo, but my parents will talk. It's fraud. If you do it, I hope they catch you.
Fraud.
I hope if you do it, I hope you are jailed.
Stop saying you will do anything to get the money. It does not mean you should steal. You are stealing. There's some people will say their children are collecting the money they collected from their ancestor. Who told you your ancestor had money? What if your
ancestor had money? Yeah, you don't have money.
so their children are there to collect the money back.
I'm talking about actual transition. Yes. I'm not talking about like I want to. I feel like solutions, like what can make it easy to transition during this process is, number one, talk to people. And if your parents are saying no, or your spouse is saying no, or the people around you are saying no, you have to evaluate. Are they saying no because of, what you want to do is actually bad? Because sometimes the people around us might actually see what is going on beyond us. So for solutions, I think people need to just come out. They need to talk to people. They need to, say what's on their mind, because a lot of people are hiding a lot of things within them, and it puts pressure on them mentally and emotionally. So when you speak out your mind, you talk to the people around you, talk to people who are in the field. You can join forums. For example, if you want to be a software developer, there are forums. There are people around you who are software developers, who are into the field, who are vast. There are platforms, there are companies and organizations. There's YouTube. Join a community. If you don't want to join a community, ask questions, speak to people. That's very, very paramount. Number two that I think might work, I'm not saying it is set in stone, but pitch your idea. It might sound cliche. It might sound like, okay, it's not that easy. But if you want to get money for investments now, all of you know how you dey pitch your idea. All of you know how you say, okay, you pitch your idea, you draw up presentation slides, you know how to do all of these things. So why not do the same to pitch your dream, pitch your dreams, let people know that this is what you want to do, that you are serious about it, that you are determined, you have your roadmap, drawn, like the blueprint sketched out. Talk to people, tell your parents, tell the people who don't want you to do these things, involve them. I feel that way, be able to get it off your chest, at least you're able to get it off your mind. And lastly, pray about it. Do like inner reflection, see if this is what you really want. Because at a point in time in everybody's life, people like stability. They don't want to be going from one place to another, jumping around. Everybody wants stability in the long run. So do an inner reflection. Is this what you really want? What are the actionable steps you need to take? Don't say, I want to transition, I want to become this. And then you just fold your hands like, okay, what will people say? And don't do anything. You have to take steps. What are the things you need to do that will project you towards that goal? So that are the solutions that worked for me. I spoke to people about it and I worked towards it. I didn't just stay because I learned on the job. I dive right in and then learn, equip myself as I go. So when I come across challenges, it's okay for me. It will be easier for me to go and find solution, check online for solution, call people quickly like, oh, this is what I ran into. What can I do to help myself? How can I get out of this? And that has worked for me so far. What about you?
Like I said earlier, my own just you should believe in
Believe in yourself.
yourself. Yes, believe in yourself, have faith in yourself, and just like Anzanov said,
Ah.
we should just like Grey just said, we should pray about it. Pray about it. Like you want to do this thing. I know that this thing people are saying it is bad, people are saying it is not good, you should not do it. But that is what you want to do. That is what you know you will love doing. So you should just pray about it to God. He should clear you. Just clear you. And just do what you want to do. Just believe in yourself and make sure you are giving yourself good talks. Wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror. You be like, you are beautiful, you are perfect, you are enough, you can do this, you are strong, and you can do. You can just you are very strong. You just encourage yourself. Don't every other people are saying it's background noise. I reward Johnny. Just listen to yourself and just be confident in yourself. That's just it.
So my own solution is that continue learn more, research on whatever you want to do, learn, keep learning and just practice and be consistent with it also. So till you feel that okay you're perfect, then you start implementing and all. But my own solution that has worked for me so far is continuous learning. Always learn all the way, and whatever opportunities that comes your way, don't say that because this is not in line of what I want to do you will not do it. Try. You never can tell. Just try whatever opportunity that comes your way. Opportunities comes but once. You might think that this is not what I want to do, and that opportunity you lose it, and finally you found yourself in that field that opportunity that you've lost. You know that you can't get it back, but just continue learning, continuous learning. You can never stop learning. You always learn till you die. So just continue learning. That's my own solution.
Okay, so guys, we have come to the end of today's podcast. If you enjoyed it, do not forget to give us a like, thumbs up, and comment in that comment section. Let us know your thoughts. Put on that notification bell so you can get updates from us. If you have questions, if you have, opinions that you want to share, put it in the comments. If you think we've said something that, you could clarify, you have your professional experience and you want to share, please put it in the comments. If you think we've said something, we have Miss Yan, like we have give one a bomb, we have dropped bomb. If you feel like we have dropped something I want to correct us, please do that in the comment section. We'll see you next week. Have a safe week ahead.
Bye.
Bye bye guys. God bless you.